Good morning everyone, I hope you are well. I checked before I came on, today is Wednesday. I've double checked, it's the 15th of April. I need to keep on track because we've got a birthday in the house at the end of the week and I will not live if I forget my daughter's birthday. So really important to keep track of the days at the moment. I'm here this morning and I'm going to be telling you a bit about gentleness today. I've been thinking about all the stuff that we've been hearing on the Spring Harvest online, and how we're looking at Acts churches and where we are as a church, and where being gentle is in all of that. So I got thinking about the Apostle Paul and what it would be like to watch him in action. How did he treat people, especially those who sometimes failed? So in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 6 and 7 it says, "We were not looking for praise from people, not from you or anyone else. Even though as apostles of Christ we could have asserted our authority, instead we were like young children among you, just as a nursing mother cares for her children." And what an amazing sign of how Paul treated others. We were like young children among you, just as a nursing mother cares for her children. I couldn't think of a much more kind of example of being gentle. So I kind of got thinking about it and thinking about where we are, when parenting or with siblings, and how actually sometimes gentleness is a strong hand with a soft touch. It's tender, compassionate approach towards others in their weakness and limitations. So I can remember when I first started working as a manager, and I had a meeting with my area manager before I had to have an HR meeting with a member of staff. And she said, for every one thing that you pull them up on, you need to be able to give 2 positives as to what they're doing. You can't just drop them and leave them down there. You need to pick them back up so that they want to be continuing to help and to be part of your team. And that's kind of stuck with me through everything that I've done in my working life, and also kind of looking at friendships. As a lot of you know, Ella and I have been friends for a very long time, there's been a lot of times where I've had struggles and she's needed to talk to me and share with me something that's really sat on her heart, but because of her gentleness and the way that she can share something, I know that she's doing it in love, as much as she speaks a painful truth, she can still speak truth to me because she does it gently. So a gentle person, as I say, still speaks truth, sometimes even painful truth, but in doing so guards their tone so that truth can be well received. The Bible goes out of its way to demonstrate in numerous places Jesus' gentleness. In fact, in the Old Testament it depicts that the Messiah is unusually gentle, telling us that Jesus would not break a bruised reed or snuff out a smouldering wick. In the Gospels, Jesus affirmed his gentleness. "I am gentle and humble in heart," he says in Matthew 11:29. And the Apostles, in 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 1, reminded the early church of Jesus' gentleness in saying, "By the meekness and gentleness of Christ I appeal to you." So there's so many places through the Bible where we pick up about being gentle. Unfortunately, too many people equate being gentle with being weak. So unless you'd call the heroic Apostle Paul or the almighty Jesus Christ weak as individuals, then that is clearly a misunderstanding to assume that weakness has anything to do with gentleness. In fact, it's quite the reverse that is true. So I was thinking kind of an example. And so maybe often as growing up as siblings or with children, you'll find that the younger child will want to play a game where they squeeze your hand as tight as they can to try and hurt you. Now that younger child could squeeze with all their might but never hurt you. They didn't need to be gentle because they lacked the power that would cause any pain. So then, just for fun, the older child or the parent would squeeze their hands until the younger one gave a little yelp and said, "Oh, that hurts." So it's the strong hand, not the weak one, that needs to learn to be gentle. Because gentleness is a strong hand with a soft touch. A gentle person can speak the truth in a way that others can receive it. And Christians are distinguished by their gentleness. So I'll leave you today with Philippians chapter 4 verse 5, where it says, "Let your gentleness be evident to all." Amen.